Welcome, everybody, to the league. It's week 11, and I think it's about time we start keeping track of the playoffs and who's going to be in them and who's not going to be in them. Pretty much same shit. Um, Crunch the numbers as best as I could, and the Miami Cartel have, yeah, I mean, they were pretty much officially eliminated like 2 weeks ago. But yeah, they're pretty much done. The Mothmen do have a very like less than 1% chance to make the playoffs. On the other hand, the Rune Dogs have clinched the playoffs. They've got a 98% chance to take the number one overall seed right now, and I don't see any reason why they won't get at least a bye going into the playoffs. The Mothmen again are still alive. Um, And, when it comes to the standings, it's getting a little bit you can see the splits starting to happen. In the West, the Cavaliers and the Finesse at 7-3, while the Voyagers and the Titans Elite are at 4-6. So the Voyagers and Titans Elite are both 3 games back on the Finesse and the Cavaliers. Going to be very tough for either of those teams to dig out of that hole with only 4 weeks remaining on the season. The Gorillas um, are, sitting atop the South, but the South is just, I mean, again, it's still really close. It's only 2 games, so it's still anybody's race in the South. Um, so if you're in the South, a win is going to be big, and this is the last week before we get back into division play. So any win that you can get going into those final 3 weeks is obviously huge. Out in the East, it's kind of like the West, except just more. It's just more of a spread. I mean, you got the Rune Dogs who are dominating, and the Dumpster Fire who are again at the top of the league as well. And then on the other side, you got the Mothman and the Cartel. So right now. Again, it is those top 6 teams that are projected to be in the playoffs right now. That doesn't mean they've clinched. Obviously, I've kind of changed the shit. The bigger one, you know what the fuck it means. All right, let's get into um, the power rankings. Some moving parts, nothing too crazy, except this order that it actually ended up in after I did it. I didn't know that I did it until after it was done. But coming in at number 12, well, you got the Miami Cartel. Obviously, coming in at number 11, you got the um, Mothmen, Midlands Mothmen. And again, I mean, both of these teams last week, both of them lost. They only put up, 200 points between the both of them. And the Mothman got destroyed by the Gorillas, and the Cartel lost only by 10 and a half points to the Titans Elite, but they were pretty much done anyway. So, and with the Cartel being pretty much officially mathematically eliminated, um, yeah, it's pretty. They're looking for that number one draft pick. Coming in at number 10, I've got the SC Titans Elite, and coming in at number 9, I've got the Vietnam Voyagers. Both, well, the Voyagers lost pretty handily to the French Quarter Quailmen by about 40 points last week, and the Titans Elite again just barely beat the Cartel. Again, these two, it could be 9 and 10 or 10 and 9. They're both very similar. The only reason I've got the Voyagers up is because they have scored 20 more points on the fucking season um, than the Titans Elite. But the Titans Elite have allowed about 20 more points. So these teams are very even, um, you know. But yeah, coming in at number 8 and 7 and 6 and 5, we've got the entire South. You got the Quailmen, you got the Tiger Sharks, you got the Trolls, and you got the Gorillas. All of these teams are just sitting there middling around. The Quailmen, the Voyagers made some bad trades and made the Quailmen a lot better. So the Quailmen actually are looking pretty good because all the players they've received are now just balling the fuck out. down in New Orleans. I guess they didn't like Vietnam too much. Not too happy with not getting some play time, and they're getting some love over there in New Orleans. However, they did lose Sam Laporta, who had a good game. He's out, um, and who knows how long he's going to be out for. The Tiger Sharks, uh, you know, got beat by the Finesse last week. Their boy Baker Mayfield couldn't do a damn thing. Had his worst game of the season by far. And again, the Tiger Sharks, again, they started out win loss win loss win loss win loss, and then now it's just what, three straight losses, two straight losses. So they're sitting at 4-6. The Trolls are just beat the fuck up. They don't got anybody. Their entire damn team is on IR. Rashee Rice, Brandon Ayuk, Chris Olave, and even Dak Prescott are all. Well, Dak, I guess, is he out for the fucking year? 3 months. Yeah, he's done. Okay. What the fuck? I can't read. I don't know why they haven't put him on IR yet. Maybe they don't have any IR spots. I don't fucking know. But the Trolls, yeah, the Trolls are just. It's not that they're a bad team. They're actually a very good team. But when you're this hurt, it's pretty hard to compete. And they're hurt at. I mean, they got three of their top receivers are done, besides Drake London. They did just get DeAndre Swift in a three-way trade, by the way, which was made all teams in the South, which is fucking bananas. The first ever three-way trade in the league, and they were all within the same fucking division. Um, the Guantanamo Gorillas got Zay Flowers from the Tampa Bay Tiger Sharks, and they sent Kyler Murray to the to the Charleston Trolls. They also sent a 2026 second round pick to the Tiger Sharks. Tiger Sharks got DeAndre Swift, a fourth and a second. They got a 2025 fourth, 2026 second for Zay Flowers. And again, the Trolls got Kyler Murray for DeAndre Swift and a 2025 fourth. If I'm going to grade this trade, I would say it is actually pretty even all the way around. I think the Tiger Sharks got the short end of the stick a little bit on this. They should have gotten a little bit more for Zay Flowers, who I think is gonna be a fucking stud. You know, and they got DeAndre Swift back, but is he's a little bit older. He's a running back. I know they need running backs, but I don't know, and they only got a fourth in the upcoming draft and a second in a couple of years. So I feel like um, they should have gotten at least one more pick out of that, and something for this year or at least 2026. However, whatever, it's not that bad. The Trolls came out on top. They got a quarterback which they needed because Dak's dead, and they did have to give up DeAndre Swift and a fourth. Not terrible there. It could still save his season. That's what that trade was for. And the Gorillas, they get Zay Flowers, and all they got to give up is Kyler Murray and a second round pick in a couple of years. So, and they've already got Brock Purdy, who's shown that he can stay in the league. So he could just toss away his second quarterback and get a budding star in Zay Flowers. So I think the Gorillas probably win this trade, and then the Trolls, and then the Tiger Sharks based on straight value. But I guess we'll have to find out in a couple of years and see what those draft picks turn into. But yeah, on to number 4 and number 5. We've got the LA Finesse and the Cameron Cavaliers. Both of these teams are 7-3, and the Cavaliers are still leading the West, but they're only up by 39 points, 40 points. They're only up by 40 points on the Finesse, but 4 games to go, so the Finesse have to do better or match what the Cavaliers are going to do. They will play again later in the season, but regardless, they still got to do that, and they need to average 10 more points a game more than the Cavaliers to clinch the West. We'll see if they can do that. The Finesse have shown to be a little bit finicky this year, but I mean, they pulled off a pretty convincing win against the Tiger Sharks. The Cavaliers did lose, but they lost to the Rune Dogs, so I mean, they only put up 110, so I dropped them down a bit. I think that's pretty safe. And coming in at number 2, you got the Columbia Dumpster Fire. They're still staying hot. Um, Convincing win over the Trolls last week. And of course, at number 1, you have the fucking Rune Dogs. So it's weird how this thing turned out. It's like an East sandwich, you know, and then it's just 2-2-2-2-2-4-2-2. It's weird, man. Anyways, let's get into the matchups. Matchup number 1, you got the 7-3 Cameron Cavaliers at the 1-9 Miami Cartel. And right now, the Cartel jumped out to a big lead. They're up 29-14. I think it's at the end of the first quarter, maybe. And yeah, the Cartel jumped out to a big lead, but the spread is still in favor of the Cavaliers by 2 touchdowns. And the Cavs, they've never lost 2 in a row. And they're coming off a loss to the best team in the league, and now they're going off to play the worst team. So that's like getting beat by Bama, a little bit, and then going on to play fucking Chattanooga or some shit and just donkey fucking them. So this one should be a bloodbath, but who knows? We'll see. Matchup number 2. Oof, you got the 2-8 Midlands Mothmen at the 5-5 Charleston Trolls. Man, this game is gonna be tight again because the record shows, the Trolls should win, but again, the Trolls are so beat up right now. The Mothmen are actually up 19-0 somewhere in the first quarter, and the Mothmen are projected to win this by a touchdown. Now, again, the Mothmen have found brutal ways to lose this year, and the Trolls have just got to weather the storm. Again, Kyler Murray, who they just traded for, is on bye this week. So they're going to let him rest. So they traded for a guy. They're going to sit one more week. They're going to start Russell Wilson as their quarterback, and he's looking pretty good. But I think this team is not looking at Russell Wilson to be their guy for the future. They're looking, and probably not even Dak either. I think they're thinking Kyler Murray can bring them to the promised land, seeing as he's goddamn, Kyler Murray's 27. I thought he was like 25, man. I don't know he's that old, but all right. But he's younger, so we'll see what happens. But this is going to be a close matchup. Beat up versus trash. So we'll see. Matchup number 3. You got the 7-3 LA Finesse at the 4-6 French Quarter Quailmen. Right now it's 14-0 Quailmen in the late first quarter here, but it's still got the Finesse as a 3-touchdown favorite in this one, and it probably should happen. But the Quailmen they put up 160 last week. They put up a lot of points in a lot of games this year, but they're just either all in or all out. Just not as bad as the Mothmen. They're not as unlucky as the Mothmen. But yeah, this one might be closer than we think, but probably not. So we'll see. Both teams really need a win. Quailmen to keep their season alive, and the Finesse to try and keep up with the Cavaliers in the West. Matchup number 4. You got the 9-1 Juggernaut Rune Dogs at the 4-6 Titans Elite. The Tits Elite. And we just got to drop the Elite name, I think now. You just might even call them the Titans or just the Tits, because it's 52-8 at halftime or the end of the first quarter or whatever fucking it is for this game. Is bad. This is an ass whooping already. It says the Rune Dogs are going to score by 38 points, and I think it's going to be worse than that. I mean, this team is unreal. Saquon Barkley and Derrick Henry, literally running backs number 1 and 2. in the league. And then you got St. Brown, Cooper Kupp, and then, Lad McConkey, who's done just kind of very quietly the number 21 receiver in the league, her rookie out of Georgia. More of a boomer bust guy, but has been very solid for this team. Yeah, this one should be a blowout. But yeah, let's get into the rivalry game of the week. You got the 4-6 Vietnam Voyagers at the 4-6 Tampa Bay Tiger Sharks. Right now, this game has not kicked off yet. It'll kick off at 1 p.m. Eastern Time. The spread is in favor of the Tiger Sharks by 11 points right now, which is strange because it was dead even when I was looking at it earlier. So I think the Tiger Sharks must have moved somebody around, or maybe it was Mayfield. I don't know. But it says the Tiger Sharks have an 11-point spread right now. This is going to be an interesting matchup. Both teams are just looking for anything to stay alive and keep playoff hopes alive. With a loss, though, you're not out if you take a loss here, but you have to win out. Whoever loses this game has to win out pretty much to make the playoffs, I think. Just looking at the rest of the league, whoever wins pretty much almost has to win out to get into the playoffs. So this is some pressure shit right here for both teams. And I don't know. Don't know what's gonna happen. Who fucking knows? I don't know. But no, this one should be a good matchup. Everyone knows the rivalry here. Don't gotta fucking explain this one to you guys, because we all care about the real game of the week. And here it is. It's the 7-3 Columbia Dumpster Fire at the 6-4 Guantanamo Gorillas. The Gorillas are up 23-0 at the end of the first quarter, or somewhere in the first quarter. And it's still giving the Dumpster Fire an 11-point spread, but the Gorillas have looked really nice, and they just got Zay Flowers, who they are going to put in there today. Now, Zay Flowers he will not play week 14, which will be the last week of the regular season for us, and that's gonna be tough for this Gorillas team. But they're believing, hey, if we can get at least 2 or 3 wins out of these last 4 games, and then they won't have to worry about Zay Flowers that much there. But this should be a really close matchup. But if you had to put a gun to my head, honestly, still probably say Dumpster Fire. They're just looking really, really good right now. Really hot team. But yeah, let's get on to the predictions. Thank you, Sam, for making the picks this week, and Hunter for filming. But last week, P-Man made the picks. Went 4-2. We are 38-22 and still 63% overall on the year. That is the exact same percentage we were at last year. So let's do a little better, guys. Hopefully Sam's picks can bring that percentage up. And with Sam picking Mandy next week, that automatically makes Chunks the last person to go, I think, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, because we have Hurricane. No, wait, someone still hasn't gone yet. Who the fuck didn't go? Hold on. Wait a second. Pause. Ah, it's Dan. I forgot about Dan. Alright, well, you know what? Since we're already here and we've already kind of told Chunks that he will be doing what, week 13 picks, I guess that makes it to where it should be Dan doing the last one, right? So let's put Dan in here. There we go. He'll be week 14. But yeah, anyways. So Sam has pretty pretty standard picks here. He's got the Cavaliers over the Cartel, his own Cartel. He's got the Mothman over the Trolls. I did put upset, but I mean, is it? I don't really know if it's an upset or not. I'm gonna take it off. I don't really think it is. Just the way the Trolls are just beat up right now. He's got the Finesse over the Quailmen. He's got the Rune Dogs over the Titans Elite. He's got the Voyagers over the Tiger Sharks. Which is interesting because the Voyagers have lost, I think, 3 in a fucking row or something. And he's got the Dumpster Fire over the Gorillas in the game of the week. We'll see how it goes. Let's get into golf. Weird week of golf. Interesting. Let me get out my tracker. So Mandy had a bad week. A rare week from Mandy. Shot a triple bogey. Graydon shot a double bogey with a birdie, so only a bogey overall on the day. Dan, with a fantastic day, shot a quad birdie. E-Man shot a triple birdie. Myself and Hunter shot a birdie each. Rico got a bogey. Joe shot even on the day. Matt shot 1 over, and Sam shot 1 over. So now Chunks and P-Man just kind of, they were just chilling at the clubhouse the entire time. Nothing happened, but Dan shoots back up into 3rd place, and now it's still 4 weeks, 4 holes left. It's still anybody's game. I mean, if you can get, I think Dan got it earlier in the year. He got like what, 7 fucking birdies or some shit. So it's perfectly possible for almost anybody, besides probably those bottom 5 or 6, to come back in and take the goal line Stein back home with them, because it's definitely going to be changing houses this year, because Matt currently has the goal line Stein, and he's sitting down there 7 over par. He's 19 strokes. Or no, is that 20 strokes? No, it's 19. I can't do that. But yeah, so it's most likely going to be going somewhere else. But looking like it's most likely going to stay in South Carolina unless Dan can take it, or I can magically come in and take that shit. But we shall see. But yeah, that's pretty much it, guys. Good luck this week. One thing I did want to say, I kind of forgot, was that technically, it's actually changed. I was going to say technically the Dumpster Fire have almost mathematically been not accepted, but they're pretty much going to make the playoffs, as well as the Cavaliers, and as well as the LA Finesse. All 3 of those teams have above a 99% chance to make the playoffs. All I think any of them have to do is win 1 more game, and they're pretty much in. After that, though, the Trolls are at a 77%, but doesn't really take into account injuries, so I would probably drop that, because then it's got the Guantanamo Gorillas at a 50%. So honestly, I would probably reverse them and have the Gorillas probably at 77-ish%, and the Trolls at about a 50 coin flip, just based on that team, and see if they could just hold it together and hopefully magically get healthy, but we'll see. And then it's got the Quailmen, Tiger Sharks, Voyagers, 34, 23, 11% respectively. The Titans Elite have a 4% chance, and the Mothmen have less than 1%. So the Mothmen have to win out and get a lot of help. Titans Elite, Voyagers, Tiger Sharks need a lot of help as well. Quailmen are the best 4 and 6 team, so we'll see what happens. But otherwise, guys, that's about it. Good luck. Okay, bye.